back again, and this time we have a friend with us, Mr. Zack Vaughan, and he's here with us to tell us a little bit about his story. Steve and I have told our stories, and now he got to see the video and knew that he was supposed to tell us his story of how he's been able to get beyond the addiction of porn. And so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to ask him a few questions and just get into his story. Hello.
What's up, dude?
So I guess we'll start with how it started for you.
It's kind of a funny story. This kid in 6th grade, so I was 13, he was clipping the pictures, like I guess out of his dad's magazines, and selling them for like $2 a pop. So I used the money that my mom gave me for the snack machine to get me a couple of those clippings, and I'd carry them around, and I had the same 2 clippings for I don't know how long it was, probably 3 months at least. And I didn't know what to do with them, I just bring it out of my wallet and look at it every now and then, and I didn't know, didn't even know what it was called at that point, but that just kind of planted a seed in my heart that that curiosity led to that lust, that early on stage of lust, basically, that picture brought into my life. So that's how it all started, was that picture.
Gotcha.
How did it, you think it advanced from there?
Well, I definitely found out what it was. I got caught with it. It was at a baseball game, one of my brother's baseball games, and I left the car early because they had already won, and it was they were smashing the other team, and I was like, I'm just going to the car. And I was going to the car so I could pull out that picture. I knew it was wrong at that point because I was hiding it. I knew I had to hide it, and so I took it to the car, and I was sitting there looking at it, and I'd been there for, maybe a minute or two. And my mom, I don't know if she had suspicions or not, but she come up, and I was like, I heard it, and I was like, quickly I put it in my pocket there, and she was like, well, what is that? And she caught me, and she handled it gracefully. She told me about respecting women and that sort of thing, and just it was an awkward car ride home. I'll tell you that, from Independence to Breeze. But my mom, I knew that just goes to show that I knew that it was wrong, and I didn't care, because I was raised in church, and dragged to church. I didn't really like church, but and it progressed from there. I became friends with my dad dated this woman. I became really good friends with her son, and he had, well, let's just say he hooked me up, basically. I had a PSP, I don't know if y'all remember those, and got the memory card, got it full, and I would just constantly just be watching all the time because I didn't have internet or anything at that time. And then the internet became available, and it just got so much worse, and it got bad to where I didn't think it was bad. You'd read articles about porn and stuff, and how every man does it at least twice a month or something like that, and I was doing way more than that, but every day, sometimes twice a day, it was just it got to be a routine, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And the Bible says I'll read it to you here. But among you, this is Ephesians 5, verses 3 through, I'll go to 5. It says, but among you there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality, or of any kind of impurity, or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. Nor should there be obscenity, foolish talk, or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving. For of this you can be sure, no immoral, impure, or greedy person, such as a person as an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. And I didn't read my Bible at that age. I didn't read anything at that age, And if I had read that, I still don't think it would have made a difference. That's how bad I had gotten into it. Knew it was wrong, all that. But it says plain up, straight out, you are not God's adopted son if you watch porn, which porn is sexual immorality. That's
right.
And it's on so many different levels. It's prostitution, it's adultery, it's every kind of fornication you can think of. Yeah. And just because your participation in it isn't direct, it's still the same.
It's mental participation.
Yeah, it's unattached.
Yeah,
sexual participation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of what we learn in the New Testament, and that what Jesus says, when he says, if you hate your brother, you've murdered your brother. So we come to this point where we can sin with our mind.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's where it says sexual immorality starts in the mind. It starts with your thoughts, and
absolutely,
with that curiosity. And we have to have God in our lives. We can go to church and we can even read the Bible. But if we don't have the power of Christ in our lives, it says we cannot defeat lust. Absolutely. We can only run from it and let God take care of it in our hearts. Because I quit. A while back, I would say 4 or 5 months ago, I quit watching it. Because I was engaged and I got to where I was like, it's more of a I need to grow up thing, and then I started to realize how bad it was,
Mm-hmm.
and because God says if you sin with your eye, cut it out and throw it and burn it, or because better for your whole better for your eye to be thrown away than for your whole body to be cast into hell, and I was like, dang, that's descriptive,
Mm-hmm. And, it's very descriptive.
Mm-hmm. And it just and then that quitting for my marriage really, I wish I would have quit sooner, let's put it that way, because when you watch it that much, it says when you lust after a woman in your mind, not only have you committed sin like within your heart, but it says with her, as in you have committed something with her, not to her.
Right.
So you have not only hurt your own soul, but you've hurt another soul with just your thoughts and stuff. Amazing how powerful your mind can be, and that unattachment, it just makes it so much more dangerous.
So were there, in that period between, the first time you were looking at it or whatever, and to your marriage, were there any other effects in your life? Did it affect any other areas of your life?
I would definitely say, I used to blame it on the divorce that my parents went through, but I would say the attitude that I had towards the main authority in my life, which was my mother. I had no respect for her. I would backtalk constantly, and I was always lying to her about where I was, and I always be out partying and stuff. And our relationship really suffered because of porn. Now I blamed them for a long time. That the anger in my heart, but I'm the kind of person that as long as they're happy, I'm good. So later on, I figured out who I was, and I figured out that it was not the divorce because I'm happy-go-lucky. It was the fact that I was disrespecting women on a daily basis, and I just got used to it. Gotcha. And it hurt my heart, and it made me angry a lot, just an angry person.
Gotcha. And it's so crazy because just hearing his story, knowing my story now, hearing yours, it can affect you in so many different variety of areas, mm-hmm. And just cause so many other things to just go wrong. Sin on top of sin on top of sin, and it's all stemmed from one thing. You were telling me the other day that, there are, serial killers. That porn is what got them to that point. And I'm sure there was even stuff before that caused them to even get into porn. But, it's just so crazy how warped mentally you can get through just that, of letting that one thing in.
Well, you're messing with the chemicals in your brain. Yeah. When you're doing anything like that. I mean, porn is basically just as bad as any drug, because the drugs are getting your body to release chemicals, hormones and everything, and you're dumping them at a rate that's not natural, and you're causing you're basically literally brain damaging yourself. Yeah. You're causing brain damage.
That's an overstimulation.
Yeah.
And then the route that it takes, like I quit a while back, and I have to tell my wife, pray for me, because I confess that I have this problem to her, and I know she prays for me probably on a daily basis, but I have to ask her, I have to wake her up sometimes, because my mind is so clouded, and that root just tries to grow. The devil tries to use that to this day, because it worked for so long that he's like, he'll go back to it,
He knows your buttons.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. and Christ's prayer is the only thing that has ever worked. The only thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, me included, I've had to cut out just about every form of media out of my life, because it's just constantly there. You're just beat over the head with it. Yeah. And it's just, it may not be, technically porn. NBC's not going to show it at 8 o'clock, but they're going to show a Victoria's Secrets commercial on their, the news broadcast or something. So there's always something that's just enough to get your mind pushed in that direction. You're just constantly just pushing it towards it.
Absolutely. It's been crazy, because even since we made the first video till now, there's been more temptations come in front of me than there has been in the past years, few years. And I'm just like, seriously? But he knows our buttons. The devil knows what got us in the past. He knows, the little ins and outs, because he watches us. Mm-hmm. He sees how we react to certain things and what catches our eye. Mm-hmm. And he knows how fast we can slip right back into it.
Very smart.
And, he's been doing it for a few years. But, he's a punk. He is. But, one thing I want to mention, since this is going to be on YouTube, that we noticed, unfortunately, so I'm giving everybody out there a warning. When you watch this video, on this side of the screen there are going to be suggested videos, and after this video there might even be suggested videos. Don't watch them. No matter what they show, just ignore it, move on, go watch some Casey Neistat or Unbox Therapy, whatever you're into on YouTube. Just avoid the bad things that go on there.
Down here.
Okay.
Down here.
Leave a comment.
Leave comments. We had one comment on the last video. We want to get so far. We want to get reactions. We want you guys even just do a thumbs up to let us know you watched the video, what you think of this. We're going to continue this. We're going to continue doing more videos. We're going to continue giving you guys more avenues to be able to get away from this. We want to give you tools to use to remove this completely out of your life, so you can be set free like all of us have been. And please also, side note, don't beat yourself up if you get sucked into it for a moment or whatever. There's still freedom. You can still ask for forgiveness. You can still move on beyond that. Don't let it just take back over. Don't let it take back over. Just move on know that you did it, know that it's in your past, and leave it in the past. Anyway, we're gonna do some more videos.
You're fighting a war, and you might lose a few battles in the war, but remember it's a war. It's not one battle at a time. It is. If you lose one battle, move on. You're fighting a war. You just got to remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna continue doing videos. So we're gonna give you guys ways to be able to get beyond this. So we'll put again some more links in the description to help you guys out, and we're gonna make a whole video about ways to get out of this. The biggest thing is finding somebody to be accountable to, and we'll talk more about that, like I said in the other video. But for now, we're gonna end that there. Thank you for coming in and giving us your story. We greatly appreciate it. So, till next time.